putting your hoodie back on?
Yeah.
It's getting a little cold again. We got to get those heaters working.
Kind of works good with the headphones because it gives me like a little holds it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool.
All right, man.
All right.
Let's do this again. Episode
All right.
14.
Is it 14?
Yeah, it's episode
Wow.
14.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So,
awesome, man.
Did you shall we do this boxing thing first?
Yeah, let's open this. I've been sitting in my house like for a while. We got this box here. So shout out to Savage Graphics, Kurt Mills. Also his brother, Ledge Gloss Wax. You can both find them on Instagram. Kurt Mills is an artist and he paints these beautiful fingerboards. Got the box here. It's got all the old GrindKing graph. It looks like he has an old GrindKing sticker.
Oh yeah.
Right here, which
yeah.
is pretty sweet. So
The
obviously
Rasta.
he's
Rasta.
been on Team GrindKing for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
those stickers go back to like I don't know, 2000, earlier 2000s or mid 2000s.
Rastafari, GK
that was when we were
trucks.
doing the colored trucks and stuff. So that was the Rasta.
I remember the set of the Rasta trucks.
Yep.
Back in the day. Let's pop this open here.
Yeah,
So
nice
we
box. Also, shout outs to Dan Corrigan and Mowgli.
Oh yeah, they had videos after we did that
we
last
enjoyed
episode.
watching those videos, and everyone else that's been doing videos. We appreciate it. And don't be afraid to go big and put them to the test. We want to see.
Yeah, no, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Don't
I
go
feel like
easy.
there's a lot more videos going to be coming too. A lot more tests, so pretty stoked. Wow, this is crazy. Let's see here. So I think Kurt does the fingerboards, and his brother Ledge Gloss Wax. I think they made us like a little little bench.
Oh,
Let's pop that open there. Okay. Oh, another thing in here.
let's see. Should I open this up.
Yeah. Pop
And
that
what
open.
we got in here. Ooh. Okay. A little bag. This is cool. Let's see what's inside here.
No way. Whew. Check this out.
Oh, that's nice. Wow, that's super cool.
Look at that.
Whoa, look at all these like neat little stickers and.
See the LGK?
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys want, like custom,
Let me see that art. That's
if you want
pretty
custom
cool.
design stuff,
Wow,
shout out
That's
Savage
gonna have to-
Graphics.
that's going in the GrindKing display.
Oh yeah, once we get a better podcast studio, we're gonna put
That's
it up
cool.
on our custom
Look at that.
bookshelf.
The LGK.
Sweet.
All right.
Savage Graphics. Says
so-
bench made by Big Dog FB, painted by Savage Graphics.
And look at what are these things? I guess we should look at what's inside these little cool little containers.
Yeah, it looks like
What's
we have
in
to
there?
kind of set up our own decks here.
Oh, this is like like little wheels.
Yep. Oh, that's
Little wheels.
sweet. Look at that packaging.
Yeah, this package is really cool. Wow.
Got some stickers here.
I like tin box packaging. That's gonna kind of do the rocket bolts sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like the old school tin box
Ledge Gloss Wax.
because you can use them for. Oh, look at that! That's so cool.
No way. Let me see that.
Those trucks and
What?
things in there.
Yeah, fingerboards have gotten way more advanced, haven't they?
Yeah, look at these boards. I guess these are the wide. Look at that board, the GrindKing. There's a GrindKing.
There's the deck. So
Really
one of
wide
these
board.
decks?
It looks like a heroin deck with the width of it.
Yeah, it's like
A
an
mini
egg shape.
heroin.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Look, there's even lip. What is this? GrindKing. Or some sort of a
Lip gloss.
lip.
So Kurt did say one of these decks. I think it's this one.
What's
It's
that?
Grady twin shape, but we're going to be doing a giveaway for one of these with a setup. So we'll let you know soon what the next Team GrindKing competition is going to be. But we're going to be giving away one of these boards from Savage Graphics.
And look at this. There's more stuff in here.
Is that
What's
a
in
Pokemon
here?
case?
Oh, look at that. It's a creeper. Whoa, that's badass. It's a creeper.
No
It's a
way.
mini
What?
creeper truck and everything. Like,
Oh, look at the coffin shape.
yeah, that's dope.
You know what it says? It says,
here, it
the
says-
shape of the deck is
It
Nosferatu
says here, what does it say?
Cruiser.
Wait, there's a note in here saying,
I'll just read that out.
hey, Team GrindKing, Curtis from Savage Graphics here. I made these custom decks for you to enjoy. 2 of them are hand-painted. The third is a collage from Science and Mechanics, December 1932. There are 2 decks for you, and the third is a giveaway.
Talking to the mic a little bit more, Dom.
Oh, okay. So deck 1 is the Creeper one, I guess. Creeper complete. That's sick with the actual. I don't know if you could see that. Here, I should maybe.
Here,
well,
you can see it in the camera.
yeah, you could see that.
Might blur out a little bit though.
He made a Creeper copy truck, which is really amazing, and the deck. It's really cool. Wow.
It's amazing. Well, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Very
thanks, Ledge
talented.
Gloss Wax. I don't know your brother's name, but thank you guys so much. That's like really amazing. And you know, that brings up a point. Like I love when I'm going through all the people that are with us and on Team GrindKing and on the Instagram.
Yeah.
More so than just the skateboarding that's really inspiring to me is all of these different forms of self-expression that all these guys have. You know, Kurt, which gave us all this stuff, but all of you guys are all doing different things. And I think to be a skateboarder is more than just about the skateboarding itself. It kind of encompasses multitude of cultures.
Yeah. By the way, I put some of this lip gloss on my lips. Am I supposed to do that, or is it for? It's for the.
Is this actually lip gloss?
I guess I don't know. Maybe it's for a. I think it's like like for the fingerboards. You can wax your.
I think you gotta save this for a date.
Yeah. I mean,
It's wax. I think it's for the fingerboards.
Oh really? Well, it worked on my lips pretty good too.
You
Yeah.
use it on your lips. Don't thanks, man. I wanted to use some. Right on, man.
Yeah, thank you. That was
Thank you guys so much.
Really, some very
That's
cool,
incredible.
custom
Super
gifts.
cool. I mean, look at this. I'm gonna put this right here for the show.
Yeah, there's another.
leave that there.
There's a lot of. I think what we'll do at some point is introduce like a series of like there's so many talented people out there. There's this guy Bianco in I think New Jersey, and does custom creeper stuff, really sick stuff. We're gonna have to show that at some point, especially in a creeper episode. But there's
What was his
always-
name again?
I think Bianco.
Bianco. Oh
Bianco,
yeah, he was
yeah.
doing all the custom creeper.
And he's like a like a Von Dutch kind of guy for skateboarding and other stuff. He's really into that whole culture of customizing. So I think that there will be a day when maybe we have a GrindKing or a creeper, custom, maybe a contest or something of like customization, and see who can come up with the most wild customized trucks.
Be sweet. Yeah. Speaking of Von Dutch too, I think Kurt has one of his classic cars. He's got a GrindKing on his stick shift.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought was pretty badass. Yeah, he
Well,
sent me a picture of that.
Von Dutch, in case people don't know, they may have heard the name of the brand before, but Von Dutch there's a whole story about the real Von Dutch's name is Kenneth Howard, and he was the father of the kind of hot rod culture. He was sort of like a father of the flame, I think is one term.
Like the flaming pinstripes on the sides of cars.
He was the first one to like flame motorcycles and cars and do all this custom stuff. He had the flying eyeball. And when me and my brother started that company for the clothing, it was my brother's idea, and I bought the trademark from the daughters who were still alive, because Von Dutch, the Kenneth Howard guy, passed away, but he had all this really cool art. So we got the rights from the sisters, and we started the brand. But but Von Dutch is known for all his customization stuff and his cool, graphics and things. So
many stories there.
Yeah,
right? We
so
could
I think
dig into a whole episode.
I definitely
about
think that could be applied to skateboarding, where you customize, hot rod your boards out and your equipment.
Well, since skateboarding is so personal, you would think
Yeah.
that you want to customize as much as possible, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm just, even these fingerboards are kind of
It's awesome, man.
very Von Dutchy in a sense, because
So
they're all
cool.
handmade and customized. That's something you don't see as much anymore, unfortunately. It's like everything is just mass produced and
to get
and
out
get-
fast and
done by automation. And I think that as we go into the future, there's a need for and a desire for human touch like this, where it's just something that someone puts their handwork into it and their ideas. It's a one-off. I think that's really cool.
yeah, feels really good to see that too.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. That will, there may be, one day we'll have to, maybe there's this there's this art aspect to skateboarding that, we have to keep bringing that in.
100%.
And music, art, that stuff's part of our culture. So
Yeah, no, it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
So many different things going on. So for this episode, we were going to originally talk about, we're going into like Von Dutch and apparel and all that stuff, but we can talk about that in another episode. Here, I'll move some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, we were going to talk about inventions, and I'm going to, I've been wanting to be an inventor since I was a kid. That was kind of one of my things in life that I wanted to be for some reason, was to be an inventor. So I always kept thinking of these crazy ideas, and I had no luck up until the Kingpin was my first hit. And I think did I show the gas pump on another episode?
No, we actually didn't. That was on our first episode.
I'll bring that back real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, take your earphones off though.
Real quick. All right, so
Careful with the cords and stuff. We got sensitive equipment here.
yeah, Ryan's making sure I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm
create
really
any-
tedious about that. It makes the editing a little bit harder later
Yeah.
on.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so my first invention that I attempted was, believe it or not,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm just like,
was-
these things look so
yeah,
crazy.
everyone's probably seen these.
Yeah.
But when I attempted this, I think it was probably in the early 80s, somewhere in the 80s, before I did GrindKing. I had this idea, because every time I would pull out a gas pump, and even today, when sometimes I'm pumping gas and I pull it out really fast, there'll be drips. They drip all over the car, on the ground, and your shoes. They drip from here if you tip them like that. So I had this brilliant idea to make a gas pump with no drip. So these had these. I had made these like valves that would prevent the drip. They're anti-drip gas nozzles, and they worked. I actually went to a gas station and they let me put it on the pump. I don't know how I got them to convince them to let me do that, but they were like interested, I guess, and it worked. And they said, well, you're gonna have to go through the weights and measures and the EP. There was all like
EPO.
like all these different agencies I had to go through to try and get this approved. And I was still just pretty much a kid back then.
How old were you?
I was probably in my 20s, earlier 20s or mid 20s,
24.
mid 20s, yeah, somewhere around there. And I didn't, I was excited to have created this, but I was like, well, I don't know all these EPA and the weights and measures and all these different things. I was just like thinking that's going to be like really tough.
You'd almost have to like put a suit on and get into politics.
Yeah,
get
So I
something
was
like
kind
that
of
done.
discouraged. I just decided to not pursue it because of all that. I didn't have the money to keep going in all these meetings. So I sort of just was like kind of learned my lesson. Like, hey, if I'm going to be an inventor, maybe at this stage I should come up with something simple.
Yeah.
Not too complicated. And that's really what led me to the Kingpin, because it was something I saw on my skateboard. And I said, I could probably improve that, and it'd be pretty easy to make a prototype and test it. And it's something I enjoy.
When you thought of that Kingpin for the first time, did it come from multiple hangups on coping?
Oh, yeah.
Like
No,
personally,
definitely.
like
Oh,
a lot
definitely.
of slams, and then eventually
yeah,
you're like,
yeah. I have my.
headphones. Let's try to stop getting up so much. Oh yeah, there we go.
So yeah. So headphones back.
You're killing me, Donald.
You're
killing me.
Phone assistant. I need one of those robots that just.
Well, we need a third person on the team. Is really what we need.
So yeah. So if you look at my original skateboard that I had in the '80s before I invented GrindKing, I had this thing, and these kingpins stuck out a lot. So I used to always get stuck. I used to skate pools. That was.
Move it this way to get in front of the camera more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see I had this thing, the bird, that prevented the kingpin from getting hung up back in the day. So I did really make an effort to eliminate that hang up. And so that's what one more thing.
I love that picture.
Someone asked if I skated or if I had
Did they really?
or something like that. I think I saw something, but I just wanted to say, yeah.
Well, somebody was asking about your setup, actually.
There's me skating back in, I think, 98-ish. So, I was a pool skater. I like pools. And
you remember where that pool was?
That one was in near Brentwood and off of Sunset.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of me skating those, back in the day. I don't do that as much anymore, obviously, but I skated. I wasn't a pro, but I could skate.
Yeah.
And I had this problem with the kingpin things. At that time I already had the GrindKings. I think I had bridge bolts out. I had a bunch of stuff by then. I think that was already when I had trucks. But that kingpin was a problem that I had with skateboarding, was getting stuck on the kingpin. And that kind of, obviously, that led to that. And I wanted to show kind of like, this, when you get a patent, I have a lot of patents. And this is kind of what you get from the patent office. If you ever get a patent, you get this like kind of cool thing with this gold seal.
It's very official.
And and it shows, the how it's being used. This particular patent I got was for the original rocket bolts. So it was showing the method, and you have to show all these diagrams and pictures and I get a lawyer to really do it correctly with all this, legal garbage that they put in there. But
legalese.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. So this one was called So this was, I didn't call it rocket bolts, but it was basically the earlier version of the rocket bolt. I have improved it since then with the new ones, but that if you get a patent, you end up with one of these. The other process for, that you want to be good at, which I have this book.
Let's not put that stuff on the table, because the cords are really sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let me see if I can put it like this. So if you could see the thick this book is, like each one of these pages.
How many years?
Each one of these pages is a drawing, another drawing I've made over all the years of everything from riser pads to.
Donald, you're not talking in the mic.
Oh,
yeah.
Riser. I mean, I'll have to show this maybe in another thing, but you can't really see them all.
Yeah,
but
we can show it in a different video.
There's this giant thick. This is just some of my drawings, put it that way.
Yeah.
I have a lot of these drawings that I've done over the years, which are the first step to making a prototype. Is first you draw it, and you do. Fortunately, I had an architectural background, and so I knew how to do the drawings, and then I also know how to make stuff with my hands. So I was pretty good at making prototypes at the beginning and going to places if I had it needing machining. So you have to to be an inventor, you should learn how to draw at least a little bit. And then you should maybe take some mechanical drawing classes or whatever. And then you should make what is called a prototype, which is your first working proof of concept. You have to have something that works. You have to test it. You can't just say you're going to do it, because you can lose a lot of money in this process when you pay for the patent lawyers and you putting all your time into it and you got manufacturing. You want to be really do your kind of step-by-step process to get to finally making a production of your invention. But the first thing is to make a drawing of it and make a prototype that you can test it out. So that's something that is the process I use to create all these things, including the locker. You know, the locker has a lot of innovations, but they had to all be tested before I could release them, really. I mean, some of the things, you know, that, like, let's say the triple cush bushing.
Yeah.
We did test it, but you got to let other people test it too, because what I like may not be what everyone else likes. So that's something I've learned.
That's why we're getting it out to so many different
people. That's why you get it out, and you got to wait, and always going to be improvements to, at least I believe, you can always make things better. Even when you think they're perfect, they're still, you got to think out of the box a little bit, because usually just about everything can be perfected. Like someone might say, well, what about like a paper clip? Isn't that kind of as perfected as it can get? Everyone knows what a paper clip is. It works fine. Well, no, you can improve the paper clip. I believe. I think that and people probably have tried. You know, there's. I think that even something as simple as that, you know, maybe in 100 years, I wonder what a paper clip will look like.
The GK paper clip.
Although you may not need paper anymore. In 100 years, maybe it's like there's nothing left.
Well, that's the thing about inventions sometimes, right? It's not necessarily the invention getting out of date. It's what the purpose of the invention might go out of date at some point.
Yeah, well, inventions last for about 20. They give you 20 years. So, like when I get a patent, like I have like 3 things I'm trying to patent on the locker truck, and if I get the patents for all 3, they have to go through the patent office. Then you get 20 years where, if anyone tries a copy, you can go after them and collect. You can either cease and desist them, or if they continue to sell it, you can work out a deal where they pay you a royalty or something until the patent pretty much expires, and then it's free for all.
Which for currently example, pending, by the way, guys.
Like I have a patent on the kingpin, inverted kingpin, but that was over 20 years ago. So, you know, it's a free-for-all at this point.
Which is why you're seeing it pop up a lot now lately.
I do have a patent pending on my new kingpin system, which is the sleeve thing. So that's something different. So that's probably patentable. But, you know, you got to, you know, and it's good that they don't let you keep the patent forever, because you want to have a point where people adopt it and then they can improve it or do their own spin on it. And it also helps progress the sport or industry.
Slow down innovation if you just had a patent that was infinite, pretty much.
Yeah, although there is it is frustrating when you put as much time into it as I do, going through all this process of drawings and testing and prototyping, and then you put it out there and then someone just knocks you off.
Yeah.
You know, take this, send it to China and knock it off, which is what they did with the kingpin and the bridge bolts. For me, they did that anyway.
Well, the bridge bolts is a perfect example, too, because those knockoffs of the bridge bolts didn't do what they said they would, and they broke all the time. You were getting kids sending you mail and the letter, hey, my bridge bolts broke, and they weren't even bridge bolts. They were the U-bolts.
I'll have to later. I'll show ads of stuff I used to do, because I used to be obsessed with imitators.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a bunch of those old ads actually up on Instagram, and
and I used to do it. I used to draw all my old ads were. I'm gonna put that on.
You keep with the Velcro.
Yeah,
the Velcro. I'm gonna go nuts with the sounds.
Yeah. Velcro's another invention.
I would have killed Donald right now, because we had a discussion before we did this on like sounds and touching chords, and
he has this thing with sounds.
He's going crazy.
Velvet and sounds.
Yeah, velvet and sounds. The velvet drives me nuts. I was like, who was talking about velvet trucks the other day?
We were talking
about it. Yeah.
But you didn't want to touch them.
No, I don't want to touch velvet, dude. Ugh.
I don't think anybody wants to touch velvet.
Does anybody else out there have like doesn't like the feeling of velvet, or am I the only one?
I've never heard that one.
You've never heard that?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm
sure there is.
I'm just weird then. Yeah,
another person that has.
There's got to be. I have a velvet phobia, pretty much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just don't want. I don't want to touch it. Yeah, yeah. Like I don't even think my wife owns like one piece of velvet clothing.
Wow.
Not that I made her or anything. I'm just saying, like, yeah, freaks me out. I don't
what about the Velvet Underground?
I like the Velvet Underground. Yeah, I take the Velvet Underground. I don't like the feeling of velvet.
So I guess I'm gonna say I'm going into like some crazy inventions that I've just kind of found around that I've never did, that were from skateboarding that I maybe one day, but here's one that I think I showed before.
We showed that on another episode. Yeah.
Well, this is the internal thread one.
Yeah, the internal threading
which
axle.
was this, which we showed. I don't think I showed this one though, did I?
Maybe, I can't remember.
No.
We're
so
deep
this
in
this
episodes
one
now.
this one, in case people didn't see, I had this. My second truck had a floating axle, and it's supposed to do that. Rather than an axle slipping, because it was a problem at the time with axle slip. This one just free floated, so it was meant to slip, and it wouldn't get stuck to one side or the other because it was floating, and it had these internal threads that went inside the axle instead of outside, which was kind of cool. I still think it looked really cool, but it didn't take off, and the reason is it was too much rattling noises, and these internal threads were difficult to find and replace, so most people didn't, weren't able to replace that easy. So I had this other idea that no one's seen this one, I don't think. I had this idea of a quick release axle. So this would go, instead of having threads, this didn't have any threads on the axle. And instead it had just this thing, which kind of is like the rims, but you pull that and it would come off. So it was a quick release system to get your wheels on. It'd just lock in like that. See? And your wheel would be on. And if you want to take your wheel off, you would just pull that and this would come off.
Right off.
Trouble with it was it's too complicated, and it would probably break because this is not strong enough to take a bunch of, after a while I think it would eventually break. But it worked. It kind of worked, but it was, and again, it's just one of those things. I made a prototype, and I tested it, and I decided there's going to be problems with it. It's going to cause problems, and wheels will fall off. So maybe I could make it better one day, but this is an example of testing it first. You got to make the prototype and test it, and then decide if it's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes in your mind it's that's going to be super cool, and you make it, you go maybe not.
It's so crazy, like how much more in between there is from like executing an idea in your head to actually executing the entire idea, kind of like the magic that you were talking about last time.
Yeah. You got to picture it in your mind, and then you got to
take action.
You got to say, okay, I'm going to make this. This sounds cool, and then you decide. Then here it is, but it's like, it's not what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, anybody listening out there, it's like, it's more than just like, I got this idea. Just go do it. Just start.
Yeah, and once you get better at it, you can make anything. Like I'll show you some. Here's another.
Oh, is that what the? Oh,
this is this.
That's
this was this one never made it to the production, but you can see I had a truck that had this big slide thing here that I call it now the slide guide on the locker, and I'm going to experiment more with this because I think there's something like this one had a really pronounced nose or slide. You even had these holes here to make it lighter. And I just thought it looked kind of ugly. I think that was the reason why I didn't do it.
Kind of looks like a nose.
Yeah, it looked like
a little snobber.
Like a snake nose or something. I don't know. I don't know what nose it looks like, but it was kind of an interesting idea. Like it's one of those things. Like many years later, I'm looking at it, going like, maybe there's something that I could experiment more with this. Maybe a better shape. And
you see it in the locker a little bit.
Yeah,
it kind of popped up there.
So that's something, and then close enough. Okay, I know Ryan's a perfectionist. If it was up to me, there'd be pops and squeaks and rattles and dirty tables.
That's why we work good together, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we gotta.
So this was a creeper. Outtake. Like this was what Creeper was gonna look like before I finalized the better version, where this one had a skull there, but it wasn't like the skull in the Creepers have a much better skull, and these little rib things. I don't know what I was supposed to think. I guess they're ribs or whatever.
It almost looks like an engine.
Yeah,
like a little bit. Like a.
Yeah, it didn't make the cut though. I made the prototype. And I was like, I don't know. And so I kept working on it, and it came out better.
It looks like some like H.R. Geiger, like the guy
Yeah,
who drew all
kinda,
this
that's
stuff
what I was trying to do
for
something
Alien, you know?
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
Creeper is, you know, people will say, "Oh, it's a gimmick. It's, you know, there's no point in that, and it's stupid, and it's just that."
Blah,
Well,
blah, blah,
but the
blah.
thing is that, you know, again, well, so I guess all hot rods are stupid, and
Yeah.
all you know, fancy cars that look like, you know, art is stupid. Then, you know,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
would
Why do anything
why do
then?
anything that's different? You know, why try and be different? Why don't we just all just
Yeah.
eat vanilla ice cream and
Why do you wear the
call it a
clothes that
day?
you like? You know,
Yeah.
you pick certain clothes to wear.
So you to be, I think the human element in the world of the past and the world going forward is the part that makes something really special. Because when it goes into just the mass production of the same, you lose the individual. Like there's a human touch in there, and I think we're going into an era where that's going to get less and less. There's going to be less human touch,
Which is going to make that really rare and
which is going to make it
you know?
more valuable because, you know, people that are putting in this hand work, it's going to become more of like a lost art.
For sure.
And a lot of people won't understand. Well, a lot of people will probably lose that touch of doing stuff because they're just so used to just automation and having robot. Like I was thinking about, like Tesla's coming out with a robot. All these people are trying to make these humanoid robots, and that's kind of cool. I could see that around your house, you know, getting the newspaper. Nobody reads the newspaper, but
having a boyfriend.
Like, well, you know, security or maybe doing your laundry. But, well, you know, I'll tell you one thing that I'm sure will take off is the sex bots.
Oh, yeah,
because
they already are.
That's just like, I mean, look at how big porn is. Imagine, like, the hottest girl in the world, and she doesn't talk back, and she doesn't, and you can just turn her off at night.
Have you seen
You could turn her on and turn
Westworld?
her off. Both. And they're both good. The turning on is just as good as the turning off. The turning off is just as good as the turning on in this case.
I never turn off my iPhone. I just like let it die. So.
Yeah. So, you know, but the point I'm making is that it's like these robots are coming into our life soon. And is it going to be something that, like Elon Musk says, that everyone is going to have one? Like it's going to be like your toaster, you got a robot, you got a washing machine. I'm not sure, because I think that, you know, when the thing that's going to suck is if humanity just ends on everything just being handled. And you don't need to do your lawn. You don't need to do anything. You just sit there like a blob and let the robots and the cars drive. I mean,
It's like the
I'm
movie.
not sure if I want.
Have you seen Wall-E? Like that Pixar film?
No.
Yeah, it's like a movie, and basically it's the future of
Oh, yeah,
humanity.
there's that robot,
Everybody's in these like floating wheelchairs. They're all fat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just,
all
They got
fat.
tubes in them, and they're
It's
pumping
like
food
there's
in
gonna
themselves.
there's gonna be a day where people are gonna go like, you know, we want to go back to just having human interaction.
That's
human-
already happening though. Like look at
Kinda.
people have like curves in their neck from staring down at their phones so often.
Yeah, and AI, you know, it's like, is it really? Did you really write that, or did you run it through the? You know, it's like there's going to be a lost art, even art. Like you could, you know,
There's a place
people
for
can,
it though. It's useful.
robots and AI can create art now. It can create music. So it's sort of like, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing in the long run. I mean, I think that there's
It
going to
could be. Could not. Depends on how we use it, right?
Yeah.
Or how it uses us eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to change the way the value of things, like music, for example. You know, if you heard back and you went way back in time to like the 60s or the 70s, where they had to do everything by analog. And it's funny how that music, for my ears, most of that was really innovative and better. Now it's sort of like everything's kind of redone, replayed, and maybe AI'd, and it's just all kind of like
It's the same top 10
it's
over
the same,
and over again.
It's the same shit, in my opinion, over and over, just slightly tweaked. And I don't know if that's going to be better or it'll be a loss of this like creative being, because in the older days you had to be creative and learn how to play a guitar or do all these things by yourself rather than assisted. So does that mean that the future human will be less able to practice this creativity, or will it be that it adds to their adds to it. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, can you look at a lot of these things almost as an instrument for human use? It's like how you use it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you could just use it to do all of your work and never have any creativity, or you can kind of use it almost as a personal assistant in some ways, which is the way we use it in our business.
Yeah. Well, you can use I use AI for creativity,
Brainstorming
and brainstorming.
It gives me a start. Like I start somewhere.
It does have a good purpose. I think you have to use it in a way where it enhances what you're doing already, but you shouldn't just use it to replace completely what you're doing, because then it's kind of cheesy, I think.
Well, it's like everything in moderation. It's just like, coffee, nicotine, anything. It's the same thing. You gotta use it moderately. Even social media, it's like it has a purpose. But if you're just staring at your phone, flipping through TikTok and YouTube on shorts all day, that's like a dopamine rush that your mind can't handle after a while, because you get so hooked on the rush of like the next best thing. I'm slipping, I'm sliding. And I feel like AI, that's going to happen too, where maybe creatives, they need to be able to slow that down so that they can put a little bit of their energy into it, or it just becomes just this manufactured thing.
Same old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're going into a world where, especially 2025, I think we're going to see a lot of interesting things come from technology, come from, this new presidency and all this stuff that Elon Musk is doing. Cause it's kind of funny, because Elon Musk this is my prediction, is that Elon Musk and Trump have this bromance going right now. And I think it's because, this is my guess, is that I think Elon Musk sees trouble ahead in his businesses. He's spending too much time not doing what, he should be. He's supposed to be this inventor, guy that's going to bring all these things in the future. Instead, he's tweeting in his platform. I just don't see that. I don't see that becoming advantageous for him in the long run, because he's now getting involved with politics. And you have Trump and Elon Musk. They're both very egocentric people, and Elon Musk, I think, is going in there. This is what I see, is that I think he's going to see some problems with his Tesla is going to have some competition. So he wants Trump to help.
Lucid Motors.
He wants Trump. He wants Trump to be on his side, so that keep those Chinese cars from coming in, and maybe give him some, tax breaks, and maybe even bail him out if he gets into a situation where he's in debt. I could see that's why he's buddying up to Trump so much. But then what I predict was going to happen is going to be a falling out. I think that Trump is got a lot of the oil guys. He wants to bring back drill oil. And he's got all these other guys on politicians that are pulling him. I want to get him away from, I think, Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is trying to be the sidekick president. And I think there's going to be a fallout. There's going to be a point where they're going to disagree on something, and it's going to get interesting.
Guys, the truck father has made his prediction.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I mean, it could be wrong. I also predict aliens will be soon a reality, something I've always believed since I was a kid, and a lot of people think I'm crazy to talk about it, and that this is like whatever stuff. I'm telling you, it's 100% real. I would put my life on it, and I know that when the world finds out how real it really is and how deep it really goes within our government and other governments, I think that's going to be a paradigm shift moment for humanity, and we're going to probably be alive to see that. I think that's pretty awesome. So
I've seen him. I saw that orb the other day.
He saw an orb. I've never seen a UFO.
I saw the orb.
Yeah.
I was like really, to be honest, kind of hesitant until I walked out one night and I just looked up. I was like, that's not a star. It's weird.
No, they're here. They're watching. They probably I think they created us. I think that we're just a product of alien intervention. I think the pyramids and all that stuff from the past was created much longer than they think. I think Egyptian cultures and things inherited that as kind of like they found them and just made them.
I love all that stuff. It's so much fun to dig deep into that.
It's super interesting. I'm going to
It's a hobby almost of mine, just to read all that stuff and get into it. But back to skateboarding for a second. We could go on and on about
Yeah,
that.
don't
have
get
to,
me started on the alien talk.
Yeah, now you know that the two guys who is running behind the scenes of GrindKing are crazy alien.
Well, the
old
locker has
historical
some alien technology in there. I use alien
does, yeah.
technology.
Well,
if you look at it.
El GrindKing's an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
from the
most people
planet
don't
Grindanium. People don't even
they
realize
don't
that.
realize.
Yeah, look at the little green guy. I mean, come on. Yeah, we've been here for a while. But speaking of skateboarding inventions, is there anything in skateboarding that you've kind of like looked up to apart from GrindKing, where people have engineered some things in skateboarding that you kind of looked up to over the years? Anybody else?
Well, I always thought Z rollers were kind of cool. The trucks that had the rolling thing, but they didn't. The trouble with it was a cool idea, but it's so interesting how certain inventions don't. They solve a problem, but the problem isn't what the majority really thinks they need. Like the Z roller, for example, was like, instead of grinding, you could just have a rolling hanger that's like a wheel, or like a third wheel in the middle, and it makes sense. You would you'd roll on the where you grind instead of grinding, you roll. But the trouble is, most skaters, including me, I like the grind.
Yeah.
I like that sound, and I like the and the seeing the wearing on the truck.
You couldn't call GrindKing anymore if Z rollers took off.
Yeah, that'd be Roll King.
Yeah, Roll King. Yeah.
So that was kind of an invention where it's like it was a great idea, and it solved the problem of having a more smooth something that rolls, but people wanted to grind, so it didn't take off.
I had a pair.
Yeah,
I had a pair on a Z-Flex.
Some people still maybe like it. It also has more moving parts, the rattle noise and stuff. So there's some things that were great about it. I liked it because it was very innovative, but I didn't like the fact that it eliminated the actual grind, which is kind
it didn't solve the actual problem.
I think in skateboarding, the grind is like one of the things that makes it almost an art form. I mean, the grind, just the sound of the grind. You could make you could create have a DJ mix the grind into a track.
Skrillex.
Yeah,
just does the whole thing of slasher grinds.
I know any skater knows that's music to our ears. That really nice grind.
How sad would it be if you had a pair of Z rollers and you're just doing like a front side slasher in like a perfect bowl with pool coping, and it just doesn't make a sound?
Yeah,
that's a sad day.
Yeah. So, but I mean, a shout out to anyone that does anything different. I mean, there's this guy that I know recently. This guy that created the Smoley.
The Smoley?
The Smoley, which is it's a thing that you could put on your board, and you can ollie. You helps you ollie.
You hold it?
You don't hold it. You put it under your feet. And I'll have to maybe even chime that dude. I forgot. I think his name's Jack. I'm probably sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, but or Jason, Jack, something like that. Anyways, he invented this thing that you put under your feet, and you can tighten it, but it allows you to jump off, so you're not strapped on. But you kind of put your feet underneath the strap, and you can learn to ollie.
Okay.
So it assists learners to eventually learn how to ollie on their own, but it's a cool thing to have in the interim.
It's like training wheels.
It's like
for an ollie.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And people will bag on stuff like that and say, "Oh, that's not cool," It's like,
earn your grooves.
Yeah, earn your. I mean, but it's not. It's maybe not cool for them, but it's cool for some skaters to have that early. That's what training wheels are for. I mean, you if you can get, even the locker might say, "Oh, that's kind of like training wheels for grinding." It makes it easier to grind, sure, but that means that not only will you learn faster, but you can grind further.
There's different
you
skills
may be
to
able to
learn
do
on
something way gnarlier with the locker when it comes to a
go watch
rail.
Mowgli's video.
Yeah, look
of
at
that. He went. I think he went.
Yeah, what was the
he
one
went
where
front
goes,
side? He went front side crook to crosslock 50-50, and he went from groove to groove on another grind. Like he went. I forgot. You got to go watch it.
Yeah,
I think he went frontside Smith to back Smith and switched grooves from left to right, and he did it in slow motion. So
that
you
was
can
really
see
cool to
that.
see in slow mo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was something that again.
I'll throw it up on the screen actually when we're talking.
Yeah,
about
we
this
should
right
get a
now.
clip of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that.
And
clip
then there's
up.
that one where Dan Corrigan did this thing where he grinded, like on the outer. I don't know how to describe
the
it.
outer groove. So he went toe. It was he was going toe
It
side.
was an accident that he did it, and it was like instead of being where the wheels were on the ledge closest to the wheels, it was closest to the outer wheels, which is like weird.
Yeah.
But he said it kind of worked, and so I never even thought of that.
Well, that's why that's just trucks are out there right now because we're seeing things that
new,
I never
there's
even
new
would have
tricks.
believed.
You know, you can learn new tricks. So don't be quick to bag on other people's idea that are different until you try it. First of all, you got to try it. You know, everyone wants to, oh, what about changing the bushings and this and that? Well, first of all, why don't you try it the way it is? It may be the best bushings you've ever experienced.
Yeah, I gotta say something too, guys. The earn your grooves, guys. You can earn your grooves on these. The axle's a U-beam. It still goes down. It's the deep.
Well,
groove
you're
club.
going to earn your deep grooves.
It's the deep grooves. You can still
groove
earn
club.
your grooves. It's not like you're not earning your grooves. You're just earning your grooves in a different way.
Yeah.
Still skating the truck. We're just starting at a different spot. So anyway.
But
Keep going with
that being said, I welcome criticism.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's how we learn how to make it better.
We mellowed out the grooves
Yep,
out of your guys.
And also the adjusting holes. There were some people who said, "Oh, they're gonna push through and make it so that
you made the holes."
But
a
I
little
made
bit.
them tighter because of that. So we're
That made
we're
sense.
listening to the comments. It's really important to listen. You can't, that's the key and that's what this phase of GrindKing with Team GrindKing is to get the feedback and make the best judgments on what people are saying. Right now I hear a lot of people, oh, you got to make wider trucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're working on wider trucks.
Yeah, we want to.
Yeah.
Want to go really wide eventually.
Yeah.
Really, really wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that,
Take it to
that's
that next extreme.
That's so keep the feedback coming.
Let's talk about tier 3.
Oh yes, tier 3.
I think we're thinking about doing that next week, right? We should pick a day. What do you think? Or do you want to announce that on Instagram?
Well, tier 3. Let's do what do you want to do? Tuesday.
Let's do Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday next week.
Tuesday. So we'll give you an exact time. It's probably going to be. I'm going to say. We'll confirm it, but it'll be 9 a.m. Tuesday.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Tuesday.
Pacific Standard.
We'll confirm it tomorrow.
Yeah, so it'll be another 100.
We'll do a post on Instagram.
There'll be another 100. These ones will be 10% off.
Yep.
And it's going to be pretty quick that we're going to have product. I got confirmation today actually that the truck should be done as they're scheduled, which is the 20th of January, where they're supposed to be done. And I'm having those air freighted, so they should be here within a week, I'm hoping. So
and we're shipping them out.
Let's say end of January, and then we have like that. That'll make it 300 trucks for us to ship. Well, of course, the first tier gets shipped first, and we're going to be working nonstop till all those 300 are shipped.
We're going to be in here for a few days, just shipping them out.
Yeah, that'll be our focus. It's just getting those out to you. So they're
we'll be kicking
almost
it here. You guys can join us too.
Yeah,
we'll have a live stream on every once in a while.
Yep,
hanging out, watching us box.
And this is our first production, so things will be better once we get up and running.
Yeah.
So we were kind of taking it slow, and a little bit of that was on purpose on my part because I wanted to get some of this feedback just in case there were some changes I needed to make. Thank God I was able to make some changes, and then the bulk of the production will come a month after that because it's going by boat, and that's a lot cheaper, but extra month.
Yep.
So in terms of shops getting them, again, I'm going to say you can get. Or please contact Eastern Skate Supply and let them know that you want some, because they're not going to be that many available, so only some shops will get them. But whoever contacts Eastern first will probably have dibs on that. They'll also be available at South Shore Distribution and Ocean Avenue. So any of those three.
Yeah, if you're a skate shop,
you hit those guys up for the.
Because we've been getting a lot of DMs from skate shops that I can't even keep track of. So that's actually a good thing to let them know. Go contact those 3 distributors. You want to say them again?
And yes, in the U.S. it'll be Eastern Skate Supply, South Shore Distribution, and Ocean Avenue.
And I'm going to put all those down in the description so that you see it.
We're working on getting international distributors in Europe, in Japan, and Australia. We already have one. It's JHS, and he'll be getting them as well. With that, they're being shipped to him at the same time, so he should have those pretty soon as well. So if you're in Australia, hit up JHS.
Sweet. Right on. Yeah. So I think on the next episode, we'll kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of these inventions. We'll take out that box. I think we'll kind of pull the camera off and we'll...
Oh, well, do you want me... I was not going to show the gloves and the grip dog in this one? Maybe wait till next one?
Yeah, we went through a lot of time.
Okay, I have these two... Part two it. Part two, I'll bring out some more inventions and things. I have this one I was very passionate about. I was actually doing... I had given up on GrindKing because I just didn't... I was... financially stuck. I couldn't come up with the mold money to make these lockers and stuff. So I decided, okay, I'm going to come up with these other inventions. So I'm going to make all this ton of money, and that's going to help me bring back GrindKing. But it didn't work out that way. But it was you'll on the next episode we'll show what those are.
I'll tell that story too, because I didn't even start working with Donald. And it wasn't about GrindKing.
Yeah, I have two inventions that I tried to. I created these two inventions. Everything for packaging, it was done. I mean, this was going to be my big comeback. Was these two other inventions? But it goes to show how the magic of creating these things, which I talked about before. I used that magic to create them, and I created them, but it didn't go the way I thought, and I'll explain why. Even though I still think to this day they're good inventions, but we'll let Team GrindKing tell me if I should
more
continue
magic to come. Yeah, we got one invention that I've actually been using every day, but I can't tell you about that yet.
Yeah, that
would be coming. That was what we originally were gonna start out on.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be back in the skate industry because my heart and soul and passion was really
pulls you back in, right?
It pulls me back in.
Skateboarding seems to find its way.
The people out there, the skaters, it's been really, heartfelt. The support they've been giving us, and that's really gonna inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing and coming up with more stuff. So thanks you guys.
Yeah, it feels really good, guys. You guys give us the energy every day.
All the reviewers that have been testing our stuff, whether it's good or bad, you like them or not, we still appreciate it. And
much love.
Yep,
much love.
So
thank you guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going up in those subscribers. It feels good, and we want to keep more people to keep joining the GrindKing family. Hashtag FTWG on Instagram for clips. We're always reposting. We want to put you guys skating on our channel. So all of you. Doesn't matter if you're a pro. Doesn't matter. Just send us your clips. We'll repost them. Awesome. I think that's good.
So and the international guys for the next drop, it's the same thing. We're gonna do the same system.
Let's think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do an announcement tomorrow with all the info on Tier 3, and we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Cool.
Awesome. Peace out.